farms are pretty much a technological machine these days compared to what people maybe think of for cows. And so talk maybe about like their Fitbits that they wear and some of those technologies.
Right, so all the milking cows we have here at the dairy, they have a pedometer, which is basically a Fitbit. It counts their steps, and the activity of a cow tells you everything. Just like when you're sick and you just stay in bed all day and you don't really move a lot, when the cow is in bed all day and she's not moving a lot, we'll get an automatic notification on our phone or on the computer, and it'll say, hey, something's up with that cow, we need to check her. So it's just a good way, with this many animals, we're watching them every day, but it's just a good backflow to make sure we're catching everything that we can. Usually the system is right, and it's just flagging cows so we can check them again. We can take their temperatures, or could just give them an extra boost. Maybe they just need a little bit more attention or need to be off the concrete for a little bit and be on a naturally bedded surface. When they're ready to be bred, they'll walk by themselves. They'll walk by, and usually they'll give what we call like piggyback rides. Okay. And that's when the cow's in heat, and that means they're ready to be bred. And that's what the pedometers measure as well. So not only low activity if they're sick and not moving a lot, but high activity if they're walking around the pen and just doing circles. So
I've been to a few different farms, and some farms it's their ear technology that tells them about the chewing, or here it's your Fitbit. So lots of different technologies that farmers are using.
Yeah, in the past 5 or 10 years, there's been a lot of different ways to do it. Okay. This works best for us because it also works as their ID. So sure, it'll scan in the parlor and it works like that. The healthy cow is the best cow. The cow by itself will do a lot of work by herself, and that's what we aim for, is just for healthy and comfortable cows here. Some other technologies that are available for dairies is just fans, more efficient, because within the past 20 years, the fans today are a lot more efficient than the fans yesterday. So they move more air and use less power, so better for the environment there. And then we've also considered installing lights, because like us, cows have a daytime and a nighttime, and the more we adapt to better fit their lifestyle, the more comfortable they'll be, and the more comfortable the cow, the better producer she'll be. So there's some lights where they're on all day, and then the nighttime hours, we'll call it, they'll become dim and become sort of like a night light, so where we can still see and the cows can still move and do what they need to do. But when I was doing my master's, we looked at a lot of studies where cows performed a lot better just by changing the light time. So it's those little things, and the fine tuning is where dairy farmers try to innovate and try to be the first to adapt that sort of technologies. Because the more efficient you are, the less you use, the less impact you have on the environment, and the more efficient you're being with the cow. Everything's very new. We're trying to tie things together. Like the same company that we buy our pedometers from, they're coming out with newer ones that tells you a lot more about the cow without really changing your whole system. So you just need to buy them. I think every year, every 5 years, we're just getting new and more technology, and that helps us better serve the cows.
A lot of times kids that just love animals think, I want to be a veterinarian, but there's so many other things that you can do other than being a veterinarian and still work with animals, and also if you love technology, it can be a neat mix. Talk a little bit what different options there are for kids.
So when I got to college, all the freshmen, we all wanted to be veterinarians because we loved animals. When necessarily that's not the case. You don't have to be a veterinarian to get to work with animals. There's a lot of people like myself, like nutritionists, agricultural engineers. There's just a lot of different options you can go into, and you still get to work with animals every day. You just have to explore your options and talk to the right people. I myself just got my bachelor's degree in animal science at K-State. I stayed there for another 2 years, and I mainly studied farm animal reproduction, mainly dairy cow reproduction, so just like their natural cycles, basically just how their reproductive system works, how their hormones work, and everything that goes into that. That's what I studied, and that ties in real good because before cows can do reproduction, they have to be well fed, they have to be comfortable. And so basically everything is tied together. In my degree, basically just learn how to make the cows comfy as possible so that they perform their best that they can.
If you look down the row and look at all the different cows, they just, they're just enjoying their lunch. And the ones that were going by were kind of curious to see what we were doing, but then they're heading to the milk parlor. We'll be doing that in a little bit.